Curiosity is a very important part of faith, because faith is connected to hope, which is connected to some kind of an understanding of not only your surroundings or of the past, but also of the future. And so how can you not be curious if you're a follower of the Jesus way? Because that's what he taught his disciples, to be curious about the situations that they're in, and the ways in which faith operates is through curiosity. And it digs deep into not just your curiosity, but more importantly, into your creativity as well. And then you become much more creative as how you can make those things happen. And broadens your understanding and your scope of how incredibly powerful you are as an individual and as a human being, how God created you to be. And Moses is a very good example of a very curious individual. To think that he could be used by his Creator to be able to deliver a whole nation of people, beyond imagination, beyond imagination. If you look at Matthew's Gospel 25, there's a whole series that's about 6 things that Jesus points to where the power structures are dealing with human life in such a very, very powerfully destructive way. When he says to his disciples, I was hungry and you fed me. Now, you've got to ask the question, why were they hungry in the first place? If democracy is there to serve all of the community, then why aren't they being fed? Or I was thirsty and you gave me to drink. I mean, we just got to look at our climate today and realize that water is one of the essentials of how we look after each other. And yet here in New South Wales, we have a huge big challenge of trying to make our rivers run. Or our seas are rising. And these two issues, hunger and thirsty, are two of the most important global issues that we face in climate change. Because how are we going to feed everybody? And if we continue to let the powers that be, that discourse of power, continue to tell us that we're not in this kind of crisis, then we have to be like Moses. Be curious. Be present in that situation and reimagine what could be. So these two issues, hunger and thirst, are very, very critical for our present day situation. Whether it be our global situation or whether it be in our own community where people aren't getting fed or even getting a drink of water, that's critical. From Genesis 1, he created all of this stuff here, put man in the middle of it, and he wanted us not to have dominion over it, to own it in some commercial sense, but to steward it, to look after it, to care for it, not as an individual, but in partnership with our Creator. That's a completely different concept in terms of how you manage country and manage land and all of these kinds of things, because it's a partnership with the guy who made it, not the other way around, which we've tried to do with our market economy. We try to own it and then make sure that we can sell it on the open market and get some value out of it. It works for the market economy, but not in God's economy.